welcome back to tonight's sad reality, and it's probably gonna be a long one tonight, I gotta say. I don't know if I do hardcore. Well, let's not do hardcore. I feel like it's a bad idea. I'm going to play as the Ranger tonight. One hour. 1 hour is all I'm giving myself for this.
A stray dog that slaughters
1
our
hour.
Arius is a land of men.
Cool. Anyways, I love unique character names. I was looking it up in Path of Exile 2. They actually specifically added character discriminators to the end, just for the sake of, like, name overlaps or whatever. Unfortunately, they couldn't go back and... Well, I mean, I think they kind of exist in Path of Exile 1. I can't remember. Kind of works. Yeah, kind of works. Feel free to dox me and my friends, by the way. You should do that on the internet. Doxing people is fantastic. But anyway, so I started recording this game again. I'm like, wait a second, I'm breaking my rule again. I'm playing a game I've already played. Well, today I'm doing everything all at once. Not only is this a game that's brain dead, so it's, for me, it's way easier to record than some of the other games I've played. Also shows I'm Rising Burning Arrow. I'm a genius. Oh, the lag's already kicking in. I'm gonna need to go in and change the settings. See, I had NVIDIA try to optimize this, but that's not going to work very well. Graphics. Like, let's turn water quality off. Let's just do that, for example. Like, where's the water? As soon as that came in at water detail, okay, well, it's already, everything's mostly off. Does not affect performance. Whatever, it's good enough. It's gonna get worse throughout the video, but just expect it. It's kind of like my life right now. Our AC is broken. It has been broken for a while. We learned recently that instead of it being fixed this Friday, which, wait, today? Is that Thursday? Yes, instead of it being fixed tomorrow, it's going to be fixed, gosh, when? October 15th. So I am in a room that is, it sucks to record in here, honestly. And I'm making excuses by saying, oh, I haven't recorded yet. Yes, I am. That is very much an excuse. The grind never stops, and by it never stops, I mean, I don't know. It did stop for a little bit. It was like 1 every 2 days. And it might be like that for a little bit, too. But so far, it's not that I haven't been unsatisfied with the channel. It's more just been like, I don't know, my interest hasn't been here. There's been a lot of other really cool things, though. I'm probably talking about this in this video. But, the reason I'm playing Path of Exile is actually for one friend to send him this video and be like, hey, you want to see what the gameplay is like? Because he was trying to play with me on Xbox earlier. He actually recorded a few of these videos with me. Well, here you go. I guess this is gameplay. Going around shooting zombies. And it took him, I think, about 50 minutes to find this boss and kill him. So I'm definitely not going to make fun of him for that for the first 8 years of this video. Leave a mean comment, drop a dislike. We're here for that. I wonder if they walk in the water, if they take, like, less fire damage or something. So I'm so bad at this game for already burning through all my mana. Anyways, grab this. That bow might be better. I don't need any of those. So these are called Scrolls of Wisdom. Use them to identify items. I don't have enough intelligence for that, but I can wear that. Is this any better than my current... no, it is not. And I think that's also guaranteed to have those 3 skill gems there. I don't know if they're guaranteed to be linked or not. What are we going for? Ballistics. Like, most of the time, all these are pretty good earlier on. I'm just gonna go for this to start off with. I'm gonna play Super Brain Dead, and I'm not doing an actual build. Do I like doing builds for this game? Yes, I do. But, not something I'm actually doing with this. This is just me playing this game for an hour, talking about everything I have wanted to talk about. For, I've got so many video ideas written down, but I'm just like, you know what, I'm condensing all of it into one. Also, I learned earlier there's like a cosmetics button. I don't know where it is. Cosmetics. Use by another character. Oh, so it's per character. Interesting. So I'm stealing my own cosmetic. Anyways, yep. Quests, cool. Basically zombie siege. Why are the zombies coming? We don't know. We're gonna figure it out. Hopefully that'd be great. Split arrow is really nice for early on. These are not all linked, sadly. I don't like burning arrow right now, so what I'm gonna do is this. I want this for wave clear, and we're moving on. But yeah, so this game is very much like killing a bunch of enemies super, super fast. Does it start off that fast? No, not really. Actually, I'm gonna do this, that, clear that. So basically, if you hold shift, it'll fire from wherever you're standing, or you'll attack from wherever you're standing. I don't know if the same thing is on Xbox, but I'm using split arrow for wave clear and or shotgun kind of damage. Burning arrow because it does damage over time, I guess. Although I don't expect I'll be using it for that long, honestly. From what I remember, I think the elements are tied to different stats, so like intelligence, dexterity, strength. I can't remember which one fire is tied to. I thought it was strength. It's kind of interesting to start off with burning arrow. But anyways, does it have a big impact on the game? No, not really. But what? I don't even know how many minutes I'm into this recording. Let's start talking about things I've wanted to talk about. Because this is really going to be called Everything All at Once, so it might as well be Everything All at Once. Which, speaking of, I'm going to be going back and forth between actual gameplay and talking about nonsense, like picking up gauntlets there, and... Oh yeah, I forgot there's like the souls I pick up and they like charge the armor too, that's sick. And, my room is still heating up from there being no air conditioning here. Which is amazing, because, I'm going to be super sweaty by the end of this video. But so, what? There's something at work that has kind of been conflicting me recently, and this has been very, I guess, kind of odd, but also interesting to me at the same time. It's not that I hold anything against anyone either, it's just more something I've thought about kind of passively, and it's how good are the people around you? I mean, like, what are my morals? What are the morals of the people around me like? Are we good people? It's just probably no. But do we try? Yeah, we do. But take like a work setting, for example. Also, mini-boss. Oh yeah, I think he's immune to fire damage. Maybe he's not. I don't think I have complete immunities at this level anyways. Oh yeah, he's definitely taking burn damage there. Get out of my game. How am I missing these? There we go, jeez. Give it up for gameplay. Also, I probably should have grabbed a bunch of OP items earlier, but I'm not that much of a sellout, right? Right. I mean, I've got like a stash, and I've played this game way too many times. Although I've only beat it once, but I've got like 8 million characters, which you probably saw at the start of this game. And nothing's happening on the screen now, even though I'm clicking. The server's alright. Oh. There we go. This is what kills hardcore runs, by the way. That or dying to a single critical hit. But so, one of my coworkers brought this to my attention. He was like, hey, so you know our boss has, like, items in his office, right? And I'm like, yeah, what about it? And, so, say you want to buy an item, and you work for a company, a store, whatever. Well, you want the best price, you know? Like, you got an employee discount, that's nice. But say you want a little bit more, you know? Say there's a little bit more bang for your buck. Say there's a way to get even better... a better price, a better deal. Well, how would you do that? Clearance items. So... with the company I work with, you can stack your clearance discount with, or the clearance, like, discount on items with your employee discount. That's cool. But how exactly, like, you can't just force items to be clearance, right? Well, kind of. So, it turns out if you just put items in the very back of the store, or in places that no one would buy them, wait for them to go on clearance and then buy them yourself, assuming they don't get shipped off inventory, whatever it is, which usually it won't, because it takes a really long time for stuff to actually leave the system, basically. Well, then you have it for a much cheaper price if you just wait like a month or two. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's very smart. That's not something I ever would have thought of. I can't even confirm that that is happening, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I never thought of it. But the reason he brought it up was he's complaining about our inventory system, and I totally agree with him on this. There's so many dumb things that happen within our store or within like store policy, whatever. But here's a really quick example. So when you go to do inventory for a store, every item in the store is scanned, right? Now, we have other ways of scanning items other than manually, but during inventories, they're specifically scanned manually. And that's cool because that means that you have a very accurate measurement of, like, the actual number of items that you have in the store. Within human error, of course. But the issue with that falls with the automated systems that then accidentally cover that up, sort of. So, I don't know entirely how this works. In fact, I don't even know what this means, but RFID, as an abbreviation, we use that to basically scan for items in the store if we can't find it, especially when we're trying to ship something out, whether it is like a mail delivery, something that someone bought in store and they're picking up. Oh, that is a little bit of damage. That is a lot of damage. I don't like cold. I don't like getting slowed. Do I take the easy way out and get the easy items? I don't know. That's so much damage, jeez. And he's probably gonna crit me to death here. Jeez. Also, I don't remember him being a frost boss for this. I know they've changed a lot of things in this game, but that's not one of the things I really remember. I thought it was like used to be like a squid monster thing, or one of the crabs. But so, after we do inventory, that's all good, but every 2 weeks, I think it is, we immediately do, I'll just sneeze, gosh. My audios have been actually fantastic recently, so it's always funny this comes up while I'm doing videos, and it probably has to do with the fans of my laptop blasting dust particles in my room. So we do RFID scans every 2 weeks, and then that immediately goes and updates the system that we have our that we did our inventory on again, kind of. I mean, we still we track as far as what we scan for inventory. Like, we really can't find it, we'll know what it is. But in essence, people only really check the RFID stuff, and they're like, oh, okay, well, we don't have it, so we don't think we don't have it, even if we scanned it during inventory, whatever the case was. So basically, it's a system that kind of uninvents itself. My coworker was like, well, this is dumb. Why is this, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I totally agree with you. And he was like, well, you know, if our boss has stuff in his office or whatever that he buys on clearance, which, again, I can't confirm, it's just according to him, whatever. If there's an item that doesn't exist in our inventory, and say we're transferring it to another store, or we're transferring it elsewhere, it's just something that we don't need, it's going elsewhere, going back to a company, not actually being sold, is there any harm in taking it? I'm like, well, yeah, the obvious answer is yes. And he was like, well, do you pirate stuff online? And I'm like, yes. You know, I feel like most people have nowadays, you know. Oops, admitting to crimes on the internet, don't do that, or whatever. But I feel like that's something a lot of people have done, is they're just like, oh, hey, I watched this movie with friends online, is that piracy? I don't know. I mean, it used to be, like, chill, I guess, when you'd watch stuff at friends' houses, but then even Netflix was like, well, actually, you have to enter your password at someone else's house if you're using their account, and all sorts of fun things. The whole, if you don't own it, you know, if companies don't want you to own things, then you pirate everything, and nobody wins, everyone loses, something like that. Which reminds me of an animation I'm making, but I'll get to that later. Do I have a portal scroll yet? I do. So it's a bit of an interesting conundrum, because it actually made me think about my morals more than it made me think about him or my boss or anything like that. I was just like, can I really be judgmental of people for stealing, especially in cases where they're just like, we don't really care, it's like a $20 shirt. If you're just like, if it's your size, it's not really going anywhere, it might even get thrown out for who cares, you know? Is that really stealing? And I feel like the answer to me always is still yes. I don't think that'll change either. But it's a very interesting question, I guess, that it kind of brought up. It made me think about all of that. I don't know. Moving on to the next thing. Projectile support, chance to poison, Mirage, or Volley. Extra Pierce is kind of nice. Momentum support. I remember now. I think I'm gonna do Pierce support, just for the crowd clear that I get on this, being kind of crazy, is the idea anyways. I know there aren't that many enemies at the beginning of the game, but that is my plan. I'm a man with a plan, or half a plan. 1, 2, 3, bigger flask, better person. Hello. Sell, they're made of organelles. The only reason I'm selling these, I don't think I can wear them, I don't really feel like burning a scroll on it, and I'm gonna see if I can go as long as I can without accessing my stash, just because it'll drag this out a little bit, I guess, or make it unbearable for me to play with the low FPS. Well, actually, it's not, the FPS aren't bad, it's like 50 right now. We're not cooking, we're just, it's a slow burn, kind of like my room. What's my next topic? Do I talk about the animation next? I have like a whole list of things I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, okay. Let's do this. Let's talk about the animation last. Let's do like let's build up to that. You know. Speaking of building up, I just realized. So last video, I realized I was so far from my microphone that it made everything like the audio unbearable to listen to, and I hope I didn't mess that up today. Because I realized that I have a really bad tendency when it comes to positioning myself. I'm not really good at sitting in one space, and when I am, it happens to be a space where I shouldn't be sitting. In the case of yesterday's video, the audio was just like, I sounded like I was in a cave or in an attic or, I don't know, being held hostage by the anti-piracy forces of the internet or whatever. I need to make up some, like, channel lore. That way I'm more interesting as a person. Isn't that how that works? Having stories makes you more approachable or interesting. I don't know. I'm making all this up. It's kind of a joke, but, like, the thing with jokes is, like, there's usually some element of truth to it that makes it kind of funny. Although I think in most cases I'm just not funny, so it's... Everyone loses. You're still listening to this video, right? So that's... your loss of an hour, maybe, if I stretch this video out to that. But so on the topic of work stories, I was going to talk about some stuff at work that I've actually been really enjoying, and that is teaching new people how to do things, especially when you teach them how to do it the right way, and then they succeed, and you're like, oh my gosh, I just taught this person how to do this thing, they did well, and then your boss is like, dude, that's great, they're gonna replace you, and I'm like, yeah, they're gonna replace me! I don't like working in retail, but also, I was kind of joking with my dad about that. He's like, you know, they're just having you train people because you're good at what you do, and if you do leave eventually, they want people who can do what you do. And I'm like, that's kind of the point, actually. Like, I'm not bothered by that thought, and if people can do things better than me, then they ought to, you know? That's a unique enemy, and there he goes. Oh my gosh, that charge damage. So does this do more damage if more projectiles hit him? More projectiles even hit, technically. And we just sit here and drink flasks, and eventually he dies. That is gaming. I wonder if Spiffing Bro would ever do anything in this game like, this build is overpowered, breaking Path of Exile with 8 million minions as Witch. Sitting there using potions. Can you beat the game with only flasks? I'm guessing you probably can, if you found some way to do, like, deflection damage or whatever. Plus, maybe those, like, flasks that cast either auras or, like, Sacred Ground, which I think damages enemies. I don't know, I just pretend to understand things and just play a game. Move mouse, on screen, play game, click. It's like League of Legends. Anyways, but teaching the next generation, there's a lot of cool things that go into that, in my opinion, anyways. And a lot of that's skill, but also a lot of it's formality as well. I've never been a huge fan of formality in either a corporate sense, just because I think on some level everyone can all agree that there's a certain humor, or I guess personable humor, but there's also certain decadence to just, we have a suit and tie and we're all formal and professional. Like, I get there's a place for it too, but I'm just been like, things aren't that serious, you know? I mean, I guess people's houses and jobs and money goes a long way and kind of makes the world spin or something. But, from the perspective of a 21-year-old who has very little responsibilities, it's not that serious. And, what have I been teaching people? Well, kind of doing the same things that I'm doing. Being really, really, really efficient in sales. Which is not something... I think you can teach it, sort of. It's kind of intrinsic, in my opinion. It's like our new understanding of IQ, there being some, like, crystallized intelligence plus liquid intelligence or something, or plasma, some state of matter. So I think people are naturally talented at talking and conversing with others, and then I think there's a certain level of making things appealing to a general audience such that they're willing to buy what you were selling, watch what you were putting forth, or do what you were doing or telling them to do. That's how people, they're talkers, they're charismatics in the world. That's how these things operate anyways, and I think a lot of it is natural. I think some of it can be learned, though. And I think I've already talked about this, too. I'm not sure if I've talked about this in videos, but I also have really short-term memory, and probably short-term memory loss, but I don't know. I don't remember things. I got one of my coworkers to sell credit cards. I'm like, wow, that's cool. Did it really last? No, not really. I mean, I think he sold like one more after the day I told him to sell one, which is cool. But then how do you get people to do that for a while? Or how do you teach them other skills other than just that? Or how do you make them like you to the point that they're willing to do more than just the bare minimum for you, you know? I feel like that really, really, really goes into jobs, especially ones where you have to rely on people to get things done and not just put the minimal amount of effort forth, unless it's military, in which case, you know, it's like negative reinforcement or positive reinforcement. You get kicked out of the military if you don't do what you're supposed to do. This guy summons like everything in the world. Sit here, he's gonna smack me, I'm going to do this, cast some burning arrow, sit here, gameplay. I don't even know why I'm not focused on this. I'm just like, this guy's kind of early game witch players be like. Oh my gosh, that was actually almost ran out of mana. Okay, that's why we're focused, I guess. Max health is nice. That's going to be huge, actually. Just like any modifier, honestly, this early, especially damage modifiers. I play for damage, I play for speed, that's why I run Quicksilver Flask, and do all these things. But I think it's really important that we do invest in the next generation of people. I was actually talking to my mom last night, and for once I was like, oh my gosh, I actually felt heard. We're talking about more Charlie Kirk stuff, you know, welcome to my Republican household. And she was like, you know, I think he'd been saying something that you've been trying to tell us for a while, and it's that, you know, you don't need to go to the college to achieve your dreams. And I'm like, oh my gosh, did I just hear that correctly? I was just thinking, I just said thank you. I'm like, thank you, oh my gosh, like, finally even waiting for that kind of, it just takes someone dying in order for my opinions to be validated or appreciated. And that was kind of one of the jokes I made going into the rest of the conversation, but, although people dying is not funny, you should never joke about that, I guess. Portal Scroll. Being cancelled on the internet, day 106. Is this the 106th video I've made? Maybe. I don't know if I'll actually hit the full 365 by the end of the year. I'm gonna see if I can. We'll see what we're able to do here. Give me, I don't hate this skill gem, it's just not that good. I accidentally just skipped half of these. Bear traps are funny, shrapnel ballistas are nice. I'm gonna go with these just because I'm all about that passive damage. If I just have it there, it'll be there, it'll shoot enemies, and that is a good thing. I like when enemies get shot, especially when I don't have to do the work. It's like an idle game. Something I'm very, 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 very familiar with. Well, I'll just teleport back there. That works close enough. But as far as investing in the future goes, I don't know if what Charlie Kirk had, it was like Turning Point USA or some whatever it was, but it's like, hey, we believe in the next generation, we want to raise them right. So a lot of what he did was going out and talking with people that had different beliefs than him, which I admire because I think it's bold, but it's also kind of ballsy, especially considering everything that happened, and the current political climate of America, or whatever the case is. But you go out and talk to people that don't have the same beliefs with you, or as you, or whatever. Grammar's hard. I was criticizing one of my friends' Discord's bio because he didn't write it correctly, and then I hear myself using the same incorrect sentence structure that I complain about, and I'm just like, oh no, I'm the villain. I'm the bad guy. Although my mom does the same thing, where she'll correct people's grammar, and then we all look at her like, why are you here? Or maybe it's just me and my dad looking at her like that. I don't know. Let's say you live in the next generation, you really want to teach them, you want to train them, you want them to have the same beliefs as you want them to have the same work ethic as you want them to not be you want them to be better than you. And I think that is very important. And that's what I find really interesting too, because I feel like it's so hard to draw that line, that distinction between them being better than you and them being you. As a real quick example, I made it pretty clear that I really don't want to go to college. My mom was like, oh hey, there's this opportunity with college. There's like these colleges nearby. You could do this stuff. You could do that. And I'm like, that's cool. I don't want to do that. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't really want to do that, you know? Also, it shows I have dash here and I haven't used it a single time. Give it up for that. Pure support. Burn. Let's do this. Burning arrow. I need a quiver. Still. Gameplay. This. I'm putting dash here. Shrapnel on that. Cool, now I have turrets. Nice. But so I had this biology book placed at my seat, and I'm like, I don't care about biology. It is plants. Plants I don't really care about. I was watching Open Sauce earlier today. I think I watched like 2 or 3 hours of just like their old videos from 5-6 months ago. And they're talking about like, dude, what if you put capsaicin in like plant pollen so that everyone has pollen allergies basically? And I'm like, oh no. And I might be having a complete lapse in memory here. I thought capsaicin was the thing that, like, spicy foods had, so just think about that for a second. If allergy season rolls around, it's spring, and then it feels like every part of your body is on fire because the air is spicy. I remember the whole joke with, like, radiation being, like, spicy air or whatever. It's, like, back in, I don't know, middle school, so like the dawn of time for anyone listening. I often joke with people, it's like, am I young or am I old? Like, I guess it's a very opinionated question, because I've talked with people who have played Dead by Daylight since, like, they're like double my age, and they're like, I could be your parent, and I'm like, that's weird, never say that to me again. But like, technically they're not wrong, you know? I mean, they're weird, but like, they're not factually incorrect anyways. Maybe maybe I add that story to the video as well if I remember. I've got so many things that go through my mind I'm probably gonna forget by the end of this. Or maybe I'll just talk about it now. Dead by Daylight people are weird. Some of the people I know also used to play Second Life, and I'm like, oh boy, this is already going in not great directions. If you know anything about Second Life, it's a bunch of weirdos. This is what Shrapnel Ballista is for. You just have this point blank, and now he's taking all the aggro for me. Double XP, you kill him once and you kill him twice for even more XP. Gotta throw in the not even close. Damage with bows, max mana, strength and intelligence. Sure, we're gunning it for Aspect of the Eagle. I'm going full damage. I do not care about being a tank here. I tried to run evasion one time and it didn't really work. I didn't like Ranger after the game got hard. I enjoyed Ranger before the game got hard, though, so that was the most fun I had with the game is back before the game got hard, so that says a lot about me as a person, or as a gamer, I suppose. Hey, remember Elon Musk in Path of Exile 2? How long ago was that now? Several months? A year ago? When was 2012? The end of the world? Mayan calendar? But yeah, don't go on Second Life trolling people when you're like older than them, and don't be weird. Just don't be weird on the internet in general. I think there's a difference between attention seeking, but also just like having a chat with people, sitting down, telling your story if you want sometimes. That's kind of the aim of all this. It's not gonna be perfect ever, although I can certainly hope to try my best, and maybe one day it'll get better. It feels like a really good bridge to ending the video, but I'm not done, not yet. I wonder if I can get to the end of the first act before I actually do want to end this, or before I have a proper end for it, I suppose. But, like, the build's just coming together. The game's getting fun now. It's sad. It's my sad reality that I have to stop playing a game that I think's fun. But unlike every other game I play on this channel, I probably won't uninstall this right after I finish. I'll probably just keep playing more of it. I have a shift tomorrow that starts from 6 a.m. lasts till 3 p.m. because the AC's been out. I haven't really been able to sleep that much because it really is that hot. In fact, I've developed a heat rash inside my house. My own house, my 90-degree room with my laptop fans going crazy in the same room that I sleep in. That being my room, I suppose. And, yeah, so I'll have to deal with that. I had a Pop-Tart before, recording this video. So I literally got up out of bed, so I was trying to fall asleep to Balatro in the background. Or Roppel playing, Balatro or his YouTube VODs or vids or whatever they are nowadays. Vids, I guess they're like slightly edited. By slightly, I mean he edits out the hour-long shop rerolling when he's printing Waluigi's or whatever. And then I was like, okay, we're recording a video tonight. It is time. I just talked about everything. And do everything all at once. Record gameplay footage so that a friend can watch. You know who you are. And make the most of the night. Make the most of each and every day, especially when you have the energy to do so. Because quite frankly, you won't get it back. Yeah, so to talk about investing in the next generation, yeah, to talk about Dead by Daylight, kind of. What's my next topic? What do I have here? Oh, yeah, okay. So one of my friends was kind of sad recently, and I was like, why is that? Why the long face? I was trying to really kind of get a feel for, like, what the issue is. And he was like, you know, I'm not doing too well in school. And it wasn't like my life sucks boo-hoo, it was just more like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. And I was like, well, you're good at a lot of things. You know, you just kind of got to find the right things to be good at. Really good artist, super talented. And I feel like the people that are talented often kind of devalue that because it's not valued in a traditional sense. That's my big issue with school nowadays too, is like, in my opinion, there's so much we miss out on because of reinforced, like, you're gonna be good at this, and this way of doing it, and this way of doing math, otherwise you're bad at math, and I'm like, I hate math professors that are like that. They're like, you have to learn it this way, or you're not right. I'm thinking, like, okay, well, I'm gonna teach you how to breathe, and if you don't breathe the same way that I'm breathing, I'm gonna kill you. Can I see that on YouTube? It's not serious, it's a joke, it's in Minecraft, I'm blowing them up with a creeper, it is... Don't come knocking on my door, please. Unless you're my friend, or you have Girl Scout cookies. Where was I going with all this? Yeah, so he's depressed, and trying to figure that out, and I think he's been feeling a little bit better recently, too. What I've always told people is, I'm like, hey, regardless of whatever's going on in life, never let yourself be alone. That's like one of the worst places to be. Always find something to do, and sometimes having nothing to do, honestly, is a good way. Oh, I swear I hit my flask button, but that's the lag, and that's why we don't pick hardcore. I'm so glad I didn't pick hardcore. Would it have really mattered? No, because it would just turn into a regular character, but for my own sake, called it. I knew I was going to die. I know I suck at this game. The comments will tell me that. Well, you can too, but I said it before y'all did, I guess. Get rid of all of these. Equip these. Do I have extra movement speed? Nope, 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 no. Unfortunate. This. Might as well. I don't know why I didn't have that equipped. Let's check out my stash and how many items I have saved in here, and probably the worst organization you could possibly imagine. Avert your eyes, children. Don't play the game the way I play it. It's probably bad. I don't know. Back to the ledge. And I'm having those moments still where I'm just like, oh gosh, where was I going with any of this conversationally? It's funny too, because I noticed, like, if I just have a ton of energy, sometimes it makes it really easy to keep those things going. And other times it's harder to do that. Oh yeah, friend depressed, trying to figure that out. So I think he started talking with us a little bit more, and he just kind of came back to like, hey, I'm not going to be offline as much. And I'm like, that's good, you know, being around, being sociable. I should try that more sometimes, you know. I feel like it's so easy for us to get lost in either our own headspace or just our own bad habits of, like, not hanging out with people, going home, sleeping off the rest of the day, and I'm like, where did the day go, you know? I mean, biblical prophecies aside, with young men not having any, like, energy, or everyone kind of falling, not ill, I don't think it was, but just, like, not really wanting to do anything, I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is predicted or something. But, I'm a Looney Tune for believing that the end is near. Not like the TikTokers, but, like, just as, like, a general statement. If, like, no one can predict when it is, might as well expect it's going to be soon. And be ready, because the world's not going to be the same after that, I suppose. But just started hanging out a little bit more, and, you know, he feels better, I suppose. I mean, I don't really know. I know him enough to know, like, he's not doing awfully anyways, or at least from what I see on the surface, and the same way I always tell people I'm like, I don't really have friends because I know myself more than anyone else knows me. Maybe that's the case here too. But, I think things are better, and I think we have to choose for things to be better, and then they are better. And again, just because I was watching Open Sauce earlier, it was like, say you're stuck doing some task for however long, it's like the one must imagine Sisyphus happy. You might as well choose to be happy while you're doing it, you know? Like, I feel like there's worse fates than whatever it is that's in front of us, because simply we have the choice as to how we respond to it, you know? So be happy. Don't repeat the rest of the Bo Burnham song after that comes to mind right after I say that. We've got a million different ways to engage. Welcome to the internet. Give my video a copyright strike. What else we have to talk about? I'm looking at my list while fighting this guy. Oh, the Labyrinth. Okay. So this was something I thought about in the shower, and I was like, okay. Think for a second. Life is a trap, and I'm not saying you have to die to escape the trap or anything like that. Think for a second. You have a choice as to how life proceeds, you know? Like, if life's a maze, you can choose to go left, right, straight, forwards, backwards, wherever it is, you know? And maybe that means backwards long jumping up a long staircase to get out of it or through it or beyond it or whatever the goal is. Or maybe that just means going straight forward, you know? You still have to make that choice as to where you go with it. And for me, I've always felt like, okay, there's a lot of easy things to do in life. Like, I could just sit here, do retail for forever. That's not what I want to be. It's not who I want to be. I don't want to go back to college either. I don't want to be with, like, the losers studying books and, like, no, that's nerds. I don't know. There are plenty of people in college that'll go discover the cure to cancer while I'm sitting here playing games, making animations, doing YouTube. But that's what I'm fine with, I suppose. Like, I don't need to be the next greatest thing, but I would like to be the next me thing. Identity is weird. I feel like there are labels we give ourselves versus, like, who we are versus who we're meant to be, and maybe none of these things are the same, or maybe there's a little bit of overlap somewhere. But I guess that's something we figure out as we move through life. As dumb as that sounds. So anyways, my Labyrinth, I'm just like, where do I want to go from here? What videos do I want to make? Who do I need to be so that I can be better than I was today? And that kind of leads me to that final thing I was going to talk about, and that is an animation I have been kind of cooking in the background for a while, and I guess I'll talk about it here because nobody watches this channel. Except that one guy that I said I'm sending this video to because he's curious how this game works and what it's like, and I'm just like, it's Diablo. You just need to learn the controls and not get stuck in the tutorial for 50 minutes. That's funny too, because like I think people worry about getting talked about behind their backs, and I give it to people up front, and probably even more than I should. I'm just like, brother, this is painful to me. Why can't you escape the tutorial? And he's like, where's the door? There's like an orange door on the map. I'm like, just go to the door. You have Uno. I don't have Uno. I'm the oldest, whatever the PS, Xbox, I think it's Xbox, known to man. You have Uno? Okay, where are we going from here? Don't really care, I just want more damage, more damage. Where's the damage? Give me the damage. Survivalists. Elemental resistances are nice. Attack damage, movement speed. I'm actually down for that. Bow damage and critical strike. I don't really care about accuracy ratings. I feel like stuff hits typically anyways. So we're going to go bottom path here and hope. I didn't read like half of that, by the way, so nothing's optimized because I said so. I was also trying, ironically, I was watching a Path of Exile guide, trying to build a Scion earlier before I just kind of gave up on trying to make stuff work. I was just so tired earlier. In fact, I kind of zoned out while I was working on the animation stuff. But, back to that. So, I give context, I'll not give context, but just say what it is. I think we just, plain and simple, it's a combat animation featuring myself and just some of the things I've seen in life, more as like a metaphor, and a lot of it deals with people. It's something I am very much looking forward to creating, and something I didn't think was going to happen, but I think there is very much a chance that it could happen, and it could happen much faster than I thought it would. So that's something I am thrilled to even think about. How many shrapnel ballistas can I have? 3? 3. 3 is our lucky number. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Now we have fun. Now the game lags. We need to find the chests. We need to find the chests. We need to find the chests. This game's gonna lag so much when this ends. He's a little too tanky for the next 3 seconds. I don't think my shrapnel ballistas did like anything there. I can't remember when they added this, but I remember like I used to play the game back before they had all these special events and stuff, and I'm just like, some of the stuff's crazy that they've added. I don't know how to process half of it. Like, are these like rifts? What are these called? Oh, some of the rewards are pretty sick. Let's get this. Let's get that scroll of wisdom. We're having some pretty good drops as far as all those orbs are going, at least for the next 30 seconds, perhaps. Yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to that, as well as like the character skills I'm working for on my other channel. It's exciting, you know. And not everything in life is exciting, but it's nice to see some level of, I guess, rejuvenation and that energy, that vigor, that spark, that simply is getting up every morning, deciding to go to work and do things rather than just sitting down and not doing them. I feel like there have to be things that you're passionate about in life, and when those things kind of fade, it hurts, especially when people want those things to fade because they think it's for your own benefit, and that it really sucks. It does. But I guess here's to cheers. Here's to hoping for later and greater things, so that the world may not fade away, but maybe we'll remember these things, maybe we won't, so, I don't know. Did I have anything else I want to talk about? Kind of. I'm not really even close to the end of this act yet. But it was kind of this idea of 3 things. It was the world around us, the world within us, and then the moon and back. Kind of all poetically, but I feel like the world around us is... Oh, I'm gonna die to crit. I'm gonna get crit out of existence. Shrapnel Ballista, go Shrapnel Ballista. I don't know if people have like this, that they're like hardcore mode and they're just like, I'm gonna die kind of moments. But for me it's every minute while I'm playing Ranger because I'm not building the game properly. Which reminds me, time to do this, so we get some extra attributes. Let's check this. A little bit extra damage. Technically it's slower, but not at the same time. Although, technically I'm down this, but this works out still. And I still need a quiver. So, the world around us is, I think, kind of more important than the way we perceive things, ironically enough, despite all the things I've said here. And that's just... Oh, I need to rebind everything, because guess who took everything out of his... sockets. This... cool. Fixed. Crisis averted. Those are the people around us that matter. Those are the bosses, the friends, the enemies even, the professors, the everyone that sees us, that we interact with, that I guess in some way or another is a part of us, or just simply the world around us, you know? The world within us, I feel like, impacts how we do things, or why we do things, or how we go about the things that we do. And maybe it's not so much important as the world around us, because I would argue that that kind of shapes the way we view things, especially over time. Like, I have a ever decreasing faith in people to get things done that I've asked them for, just because, like, most of my friends are lazy, and that's something I'm totally fine saying, and that's something they're totally fine hearing, at least I hope. Or the friends that I also jokingly say I don't have. So, why is that? I guess it's just kind of the experiences we have in life that we're used to. But the last part being the moon and back, and that's what are we willing to do for the people around us, despite how we see them, or despite those views, you know? The things that we would do, I guess, kind of like an irrational level of how much we give, I guess, or how much we care. It's always been an interesting thing, because I feel like a lot of people aren't willing to go do more than just the bare minimum in a lot of cases. But, how hard is it to do something for someone you don't really know that well, someone you don't consider that close, and still do your absolute best, even if you do get, you know, screwed over in the end, or whatever the case is, you know? I guess it's more of a question of where do you see yourself in the world around you, knowing the world within you. That's not a mouthful. You should see my Discord about me. I don't know. You should read the Declaration of Independence. Whatever else there is out there, so. But yeah, there are so many things I want to talk about today, and I probably forgot a few of them. I was just had ideas, and I tried to write these things down, and I actually did kind of stick with a list on Discord for once. I mean, I know I'd said I'd kind of migrated away from that, but definitely helped organize them because there were just so many things to go through. So to all who are watching, I wish the best for anyone. Wish the best for myself as well, because I don't know, the world could go in crazy ways from here on out. You know, it's like people don't predict their own death, but statistically, some of us have to die, and eventually we all will. You know, or whatever the case is. You know, it's like life's unpredictable. I guess be ready for any of it, but also don't worry about it too much either. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope this gameplay was semi-decent. The thoughts contained were nice ASMR to fall asleep to. Yeah, thanks for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your night, and I will see you in maybe tomorrow's Sad Reality. Have a good one, y'all.